Well, good snowy afternoon, Seattle. Dan Edwards here with Seattle's Eastside Real Estate Podcast, the podcast dedicating to living, working, playing on the East Side. It's Wednesday, December 21st. Going to be the longest night of the year tonight. Also, Elsa's birthday. At least I've heard that from those that know. And we're live on Facebook, YouTube. Please feel free to comment, share, subscribe. If you are listening to a past recorded version, you can't call into the show anyways because we never do that. But even if you could, it's recorded. Please do subscribe on Google and Apple Podcasts and rate our podcast. We would love that. Today, we're going to be chatting a little real estate crosstalk with Sydney Odingle from the Eastside Real Estate team. Let me bring him on. Sydney, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again.
So Sydney and I thought we'd do the best gifts for realtors on 2021 here, right, Sydney? No way, actually, that's not the topic. Although it might be an interesting one, right?
Ready.
I'd have to think about it. No, I thought we would kind of talk about what's going on with the market with regards to equity in their homes, the gains over the past 12 months, what it means for homeowners and what it means for home buyers and home sellers. So one of the best things about this last run up of real estate home values is that we've seen owners gain quite a bit of positive equity. Talk to me about how that happened, Sydney.
So we are fortunate to live in an area where appreciation has occurred over the last 5 years. Right now, we feel like it's not going to be as quickly as it was maybe in the last two, but still seeing positive growth in people's equity.
Yeah. So just for those of you that may not know exactly what equity is, it is your home's current value minus what you owe on the loan. A lot of buyers out there are able to buy homes with 3% down. That means they have 3% equity. Now, as a home value increases, and if we reflect back over the last several years, the home values increase at a rate of a normal appreciation would be 4% annually. But what we saw over the last 5 years is pretty much double digits every year. 10, 12, 13, 12, 16, stuff like that. So let's take a look at, we've got this post that we put on our website here, and I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Share from this one here. I just kind of put this post up here so we can kind of look, and you can find this post on the Eastside Real Estate team's blog. So let's take a look at, you can see homeowner equity gains year over year for quarter three of 2022. The interesting part is these are gains in quarter three of 2022. The national average was 34,000. And in the Northwest, it looks like 20,000 in Washington State, 24,000 in Oregon. Why is it important, Sydney?
Why is what important? Exactly.
Why? So why are these home equity gains so important?
Well, it's important to understand where you might be depending on when you purchased a home, if you're interested in selling your home, and understanding what you might be able to get for it, and where you can strategically list, and or vice versa if you're looking to purchase.
I think a couple of things come to mind is a lot of people look to last March as why can't I sell my home for that price? And, as we showed in our podcast last week, kind of where the high point was in home values, and we had a spike. We had a spike in prices, and now we're looking back at that saying, well, how come we aren't still there? But the truth is the run up from October of 2021 to, quite frankly, October, November, December were a contraction of inventory. And then January, February, March was a huge spike in prices because of the scarcity, the low, and people just wanting to get into a house, needing to get into a house. So as far as sellers, what should sellers do with this information going forward into 2023?
They should take this information and use it as best as possible. I feel like it just shows it's that much more important to price correctly. If you've always kind of told that if you're not priced correctly, you'll kind of see it in how busy the traffic is with a listing. Being off by just 5 or 10% could be the difference between getting traffic, seeing offers, and potentially having a listing sit on the market longer than it needs to.
Yeah, one of the things that actually surprises me is Q3 of 2022 was when our market really softened up quite a bit. Yet we still see year-over-year gains. So that it's kind of like perspective. So when I think of buyers saying, "Well, I'm just waiting for prices to go down," well, this right here is showing you the prices didn't necessarily go down year over year.
No.
I wonder what this will look like for Q4. Now, one thing I think isn't, since we're talking not just national picture, but let's just talk about like regional picture. Hold on, I gotta switch back to here. But if we switch back to, I had a question this week of what neighborhoods or what locations on the east side had the biggest pullback in prices. And so I actually am going to bring up a chart to show you, and it's from the same chart. Got to type it in here. And
If I had to guess, I'd say my neighborhood. Just seeing some of
where's your neighborhood at? Where's your neighborhood?
West Hill, Bothell.
Bothell. I'm just gonna put the city of Bothell. So let's go ahead back into stream. So this is InfoSparks. I showed this last week. You'll notice median home prices are flat for this year, not down, but flat. So that's something to consider. But let's look at percentage of list price to sales price. And let's see what it says. So we've got Bellevue, Redmond, Issaquah, and Bothell is what I did. So this top one is Redmond. The top one is Redmond. So Redmond at its peak last year, April, was 108% of list price to sales price. Our second best deals to be had is Bothell, 106.5. So there you go. And then Bellevue at 106.1. And then Issaquah at 105.9. And I can't do more than that. So I'm actually going to switch this because I want to show you Sammamish. Sammamish is at the top, 110.9. So if you're looking for a deal relative to where the market was, the number one place is Sammamish, number two, Sammamish, and number two is Redmond. And we could do this kind of information on specific neighborhoods too. So if anybody out there is watching and they want to know, as far as where, and here's the thing, is where the deals are, right? It's kind of like a loaded question, like where are the deals? This is relative to the peaks, right? I do believe there's lots of great opportunities all over the place, but relative to the peak in April, the best deals are in Sammamish. Second best are in, what did I say? Redmond? Yeah, Redmond. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Now, if you get a little bit more specific, like what part of Sammamish? The north end, south end? We could actually, because I know the north end is 90074 and the south end is 9075. Let's look at Redmond. Redmond will go 98052 and 98053. 98053. All right. What's your guess, Sydney? Which one is going to be the best deal? North Sammamish, South Sammamish, Redmond, or Redmond East, right? Kind of rural Redmond. Which one do you think will be the best deal?
North Sammamish.
I think you're cheating. You are correct. North Sammamish.
North
Sammamish at 111. What?
I said I spent a little bit of time out there.
Yeah, I mean North Sammamish is awesome. You've got Timberline, you have Sahali, Deer Park, lots of good spots there. South Sammamish, Trossachs, Pine Lake, a lot of newer construction in South Sammamish. What's that?
I was saying Aldera.
Klahani's considered. Oh no, Klahani's 98029. Aldera, yeah. Aldera is more Fall City. There is one Aldera neighborhood in Sammamish. The rest are all in Fall City. So I love Aldera. It's beautiful, but because the school district splits, there's a value perception between the two. And then it looks like 98052 and 98053. That surprises me. Before I did this, I was thinking 98053, but 98053
is that
it isn't. What's that?
Is 98053 East Redmond?
Yeah, East Redmond. So that one just never gets really crazy because there's just some people that want to live out in the woods. Mm-hmm. So, well, cool. I mean, processing this for buyers, in my opinion, it's being able to get this data, right? Because now you can be a shopper and you can say, hey, relative to where the peak of the market was, I'm going to get a good deal. The truth is, though, is you want to look at all these areas a little differently. You look at them as a buyer, like how long do you plan on being there? And really, I think we're gonna probably see some more softening of prices. But at our numbers for November earlier this week as a team, one thing that jumped out at me is that the inventory of new listings in November was lower than new listings in November of 2021. So we're actually starting to see inventory contract again. And that's just from new listings. The difference is we have more listings staying on the market longer. The amount of buyers that we have on the market is longer. So from a standpoint of available inventory, yeah, it's great. And like Sydney said earlier, you got to be compelling. So Sydney, any final thoughts?
I think you hit the nail on the head. You had brought up how there are some people who are looking at the market and saying that they're waiting for it to go down. I think that with the data that you just showed, it goes to show that it has slowed down. And in fact, it's a better deal than it has been in the recent past. And so it's very difficult to time the market. If you are looking and needing to move and can afford to, right now is a great time. There's a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so then last question. You've lived in the Bellevue area for your whole life, right? What's your favorite thing you like to do for the holidays?
For the holidays, shopping has always been fun. Black Friday is something that we've done pretty much religiously, but now with a kid and wife and family all around, I really just enjoy being able to spend time with them. So whenever I'm able to kind of get all my work done and separate that day out to spend time with family, that's my favorite. Corny but real.
All right. You guys like to go shopping together?
I didn't say together.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Black Friday shopping, I don't get up for that. What I like is how quiet the house is when everybody's out shopping. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Sydney. Well, thanks for joining me. Love the conversation. One last point, and this actually I should have out sooner, but I'm going to share it now because I came across this chart. So this is the market action index. So one last thought was this is where we were in April, and this is where we are now. But you notice there's a little bit of an uptick, and the more softening in interest rates we get, the more chance of something of us really getting a good run on properties. So if you're considering listing a home, January is a great month for it because a lot of people are going to be making a move in the next couple months. Well, thank you very much for watching our podcast. We want to wish you and yours a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, et cetera, and a Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.
Happy holidays.